Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is ardusv
And Sam.
with Cajun Couple Trucking. And right now we are in York, Nebraska at the Petro in one of the few remaining iron skillets in the country. More about that in a little bit on our closing. But what we're talking about today is merging and turning in an 18-wheeler and 4-wheelers and what's expected. So enjoy the intro, and I'm going to let my wife take this one this week. All right. See you in a minute.
Okay, so we're going to talk about merging today. And I've talked to several people, and this is one of my pet peeves. Not as much my husband, but mine. Because a lot of people don't know how to merge, who has the right of way, and what to do whenever we're merging. Okay, I'm sorry. You're Thank you. And so here's the thing. The 18-wheeler in this situation has to stay at a consistent speed, straight in his lane, because there's other cars on both sides of him going different speeds, performing different maneuvers. He wants to stay safe, so he's going to stay 55, 60, 65, whatever speed he's doing. It doesn't rightly matter. You're coming off onto the on-ramp and you're wanting to get on the highway. He's coming. Who has the right of way? Well, he does. He's already there. He's going straight. But this ramp, you're to accelerate to either get in front of him at a safe distance, not within a few feet of him.
Federal government says 105 feet.
Correct. Or you are to let him go and get in back of him at a safe distance. It is never okay to stay on the side of him and expect him to move over. Because guess who he's going to run into if he moves over? Grandma and the kids that are on their way to the store. Not cool. Because they may be in his blind spot. So he doesn't know for sure that it's safe for quite a while. And by that time, you're already over here honking your horn saying move over. Not cool. So, and I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, it's my right of way because I'm entering the highway. No. All 48 continental states, probably Alaska and Hawaii too, I'm almost 100% sure they've got this rule that this truck has the right of way to continue going at the safe speed that he's going to continue his journey without moving over and causing an accident or causing any other issues, because this load he's carrying is very heavy and can shift on him if he makes sudden movements. So he's not going to do that. He's not going to risk his load. He's not going to risk his life to move out your way so you could get to the mall faster. Pretty much. So if you thought you had the right of way merging, you don't. So
look in your state's book. It always is a federal thing. All merging traffic has to yield to the flow of traffic.
And we've had where we go and someone's trying to and they can't make it, so they get behind us and then they do this fun little zoom race car thing and get right here and do the little one finger salute that, you know, is not very nice, and I'm not going to say anything more about that, and then drive off like they're just impatient to get where they're going.
Or they come over into the lane and brake check a truck that
Right.
takes 15 to 20 times the length that it takes you to stop, and they expect this 80,000-pound load to stop before it hits them.
And he's probably not going to. He's either going to hit you, or he's going to swing over into grandma over here with the kids, or he's going to get off the road and then possibly lose his life because you had to get where. It doesn't rightly matter whether it's the mall or the kids' school or whatever, but don't cut him off.
And don't brake check, because even if he goes to the right, rolls his truck, even if he loses his life, chances are there's a dash camera that already captured your car, your license plate. You will go to jail.
Yep. So, a little bit of road fun that we run into on a daily basis that I hear a lot of misinformation about, people saying, oh, this or that, or
Trucks are required to move over to the left lane.
yeah, and
It's not.
that's
It's
not
a courtesy, people.
and honestly, he wants to get there as safe as possible, so he's not trying to speed up or slow down to cut you off. It's not like that. He's just trying to stay in his lane, doing the miles per hour that he's currently doing to keep his load straight and get there safely.
And honestly, people, if this was switched, switch.
Okay, let's switch them.
Okay, who has the right of way now? Still the current traffic.
Correct.
The
So
merging
the
traffic has to yield.
car will have the right of way. The truck will either slow down or speed up to make sure it can get in safely behind the car. 9 out of 10 chances he is not going to try to get in front because he's got such a long load that that's not going to work out in his favor or anyone else's. So he's going to let you go, and then he's going to slowly get in behind you, but not too close. So always this lane has the right of way, not the merging traffic. All right, guys, any questions, hit us up in comments. If you don't agree, hit us up in comments, and then we'll go ahead and take a screenshot of the DOT book for you. Okay, guys, now we're going to talk about turning at intersections. Go ahead, cameraman, and get right over my shoulder so we can see the truck. All right, so we're going to turn. Which lane do you think we should get into? There's 2 different lanes. Now we're coming up, and we can choose what lane we want to be in. Should we be in the left lane or the right lane? Well, truth is always right lane. You're gonna have a car, let's say, that comes up here. Well, when you're turning, you can see him up until you turn. But if you were in this lane and he was here, you'd lost track of him, and he's trying to turn also, and you can run over him or push him off or even just tap him. Either way, it wouldn't be a good thing. So always the right. Now if you're coming from the other side, which one's your right lane? And then you're going to turn this, turn this way. And he is right there. But if you were on this side and you go to turn, you can't see him, and you just pushed him over into other traffic while you're turning. So always the right lane, whether you're going across the 4 lanes or turning on the same side.
Whether it's a left turn or a right turn, always in the right lane. And it's always right lane to right lane. If you're here and you're going to turn, you're not going to turn here. You're going to turn here into this lane. Okay? And your right side of your truck, your passenger side, there's a bigger blind spot. When you're turning left, you have to come, you have to come all the way across before you turn. You know what's going to happen. This car is going to come, and he's turning too. He's going to try to beat you, and he's going to smack into you. Okay? Or he's going to stop right there, and whenever you finish, your tail swing's going to get him because he's going to try to come across. And you're trying to get into this lane or this lane, it doesn't matter. If you're here, you have a better, because it's driver's side, you have that window you can look out. You always have a better field of view for any vehicle, whether you're turning left or right. We've all had times when we got stuck in this lane here, turning to the right, and someone gets right here, and as we're going, most trucks try to block it like this, half and half. Well, a car's going to come on the side, on the shoulder, and still try to get.
Yep.
Okay? And so we're always going right lane, because if we're in the truck, this is the right to right lane. We may have to cross over this left lane to get back to the right lane. That is the proper turn for an 18-wheeler. And over here, right to right. That way you can watch the traffic.
If you're a car, you can use either.
Yes.
But also, if you're in a car, because we're doing this both ways.
Yes.
If you're in a car, what we call four-wheelers.
Yes. Right to
Give
right.
that. Yes. It's always right to right, left to left.
Yes.
That's in your. But always give that truck enough room to turn.
Correct.
Give that truck plenty
It's
of
gonna
room
have
to
go
turn.
up and turn across 2 lanes to get
Right.
his.
So if you're in this car, sit back here and wait for him to complete his turn, then go. The reason being is you don't want, see that distance between the tires and the end of the trailer? That's what we call a tail swing. Whenever he comes out here and he makes that turn, because he's trying to make those tires go as close to that curb as he can. See how that tail swings out into the other lane? You don't want to be there. So stay back a little bit. Let him finish his turn, because believe me, being 10 seconds later than what you would have been is a lot better than not showing up at all and being in the hospital. Because these trucks, 80,000 pounds, I can tell you from experience, when that tail swings, even driving a bus, when that tail swings, if it swats a car, these vehicles are built like tanks. We're not going to feel it in the cab. We're going to think that we've completed the turn and we're going to keep going. When we find out that someone was in our tail swing is when a police officer pulls us over and says, hey, there was an accident back there. You need to come back to it. So that was information from someone who doesn't even hold a CDL. And she has enough scruples to understand that these trucks are huge. They weigh a lot. And you should give them
a lot of driving that is very concerning.
Both from 18-wheelers and cars.
Correct. So, learn, just be informed and help inform others who sometimes just got told the wrong thing.
And the problem with it is now is that most driving schools, both for trucking and for cars, tell you once you pay that fee to take your test, you can take it as many times as you need to pass it. So most people don't even read the books, don't even crack the books open. They just head in there and keep taking the test till it's over. All right, we're going to pause it here, and we're going to do a little bit of studio magic, and we're going to show you some roundabouts, because she wanted to talk about roundabouts too. So hold on, everybody. We're going to show you a roundabout, and disclaimer here. When I drew this, because of the board, it isn't completely square. There was no way to draw this scale, so we're just going to go with it, all right?
We're going to go with it the way it is. Okay, so you're in a roundabout, and if you're a car, you're hopping in and you're hopping out, or down that way or all the way around. Pretty simple process, right?
And it's easy for you to stay in your own lane.
Stay in your own lane, just go, merge, behind or in front of the person that's coming into the roundabout or already in the roundabout. It's pretty simple. Now, when an 18-wheeler is entering the roundabout, a little bit more difficult to maneuver such a big vehicle in such a small space.
Right. We can't come here and go here. We have to come all the way.
We have to come out and turn to be able to get into that lane. So when turning, this tail can sometimes be a little bit in the other lane. So whenever you're coming into a roundabout and you see an 18-wheeler making this turn to come around to go out the other side, or however he's doing, make sure you stay back far enough to where if his tail does swing, you don't get hit. A lot of times people will try to get right next to an 18-wheeler while he's trying to make this turn. And usually there's not enough space for him to get his back end around. And so at that point, whose fault is it? You stayed in your lane, you stayed your speed, he stayed in his lane as much as he could, but he could only keep his back end so far into his lane. So just give them some space, because it's definitely not something that you want to get hit by the back end of this and end up having to file a report, wait for an officer, things like that.
Yeah. As in the last video, remember we talked about tail swing? Well, now we're going to talk about tracking. In a circle, this truck, if he's in the outside lane, his trailer is going to be in the inside lane. Okay? When he comes around and straightens out, what's going to happen to that? See how that trailer shot out? That tail swing is going to go back into his lane. So if you're trying to come around the trailer, you're going to get hit. Okay? Now if he's in the inside lane, his trailer is going to track up here. Okay? Again though, whenever he comes out and he straightens out, look what happens. That tail swing shoots out. Guys, in these roundabouts, give the 18-wheeler both lanes. Okay? Don't stay on the side of him. Get behind him or in front of him, but give him both lanes. He's going to be in and out of this roundabout as quick as possible. He does not want to be in this roundabout. He hates this roundabout. This is a death trap for both cars and trucks, but it alleviates traffic jams. Instead of having a four-way light here, traffic can move slowly at about 15 miles an hour, 10 to 15 miles an hour. So let him get in, let him get out, give him all the room he needs.
And if you're in the 18-wheeler and you're making these turns, just be aware of those people who are trying to come around you in ways that are unsafe, to where you can try to maneuver or stop and let them go to where you can do the maneuver
or
safely.
If you have to stop and block all traffic, it's better than being in an accident.
Correct.
Because let me tell you something, a recordable accident that counts against your safety record in an 18-wheeler is any accident that someone leaves in an ambulance or any vehicle has to be towed. Okay? That can, you know how crunchy these cars are. You hit the bumper and it's totaled. You know, I mean, don't take the chance, guys. Neither you guys in regular cars or 18-wheelers, it doesn't matter which. Guys, give the 18-wheelers plenty of room. 18-wheeler driver, if you see something and you need to stop, stop. If someone calls the police, so much the better, because what's going to happen in this situation here is they're gonna tell this four-wheeler back up, and then let him complete his maneuver, and then you can go. That's what's going to happen if the police are called. If the police are called for an accident, it can go many different ways. Okay, I suggest everybody, four-wheelers, 18-wheelers, have a dash cam. It will save you a lot of heartache in the end, and it will definitely prove who was wrong.
Definitely.
Okay, so
that's
now,
our tips.
Yep, that's our tips for roundabouts, intersections, turning, and merging. So let me get back over there with her, and we're going to talk a little bit about our restaurant.
Okay, everybody. As I said in the intro, iron skillets and country prides are becoming extinct. I mean, just looking back just 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they were in just about every TA, Petro. You know, there were good restaurants in just about every truck stop. Love's came out. Love started putting fast food. And
Taco Bell.
Yeah. And I really believe
Subway.
If anybody's watched the movie Demolition Man, okay, if you haven't, it was things back in the late 80s with Sylvester Stallone. Watch it. Look it up. In that parody of the future, the only restaurant left was Taco Bell, because they won the restaurant wars. And we are fast becoming a society where either McDonald's or Taco Bell is going to be the only place we can eat unless we cook in our trucks. These right here, I love these gems, these iron skillets, these country prides. And while their menu has shrunk, it's still good food, home cooked food. It's not fast food. It's not full of preservatives. It's not full of fat. It's not full of a lot of the other things that, you know. And I have seen truckers walk half a mile to get to a Waffle House or something like that, just to have a healthy meal. And they're complaining.
Denny's.
Yes, Denny's. But they're complaining a lot that truck drivers are slow, they're sluggish, they're falling asleep behind the wheel, they're not eating properly, they have so many physical and ailments like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, but you're not giving truck drivers a healthy alternative. About the most healthy that we get in most of these truck stops is a salad that may have been made 2 weeks ago. You know, all we have is an expiration date. We don't know when it was made. We don't know if it, I mean, we've opened a couple of those salads and, you know, the ham in it was slimy and stuff like that. It's just, nope, not gonna eat it. So, drivers, cook more in your trucks. That's all we can say. A nice little 2-quart slow cooker.
Yeah.
Use a bungee, those loop bungees with the ball on the end, and you can secure the top on it. Set you something in there in the morning, turn it on low, and let it go. Uses less than 80 watts, and at 6 o'clock when you stop, you have a meal. Fix you a couple sandwiches. You know, eat healthy, guys. You know. But when you can find something like this, we love to sit and eat. So that's why we decided to do it from in here. Is our video from in here is just, you know, we found a gem and we wanted to show it off. As you can see, used to in the 90s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even the late as the 80s and 90s, there was areas in these travel stops, in these truck stops, that said drivers only. And if you didn't have a CDL or went with someone with a CDL, you couldn't sit and eat in that section. You had to sit in another section. That was so that they could get drivers in and out and back on the road as quick as possible.
You still have a truck driver section at this one up front.
Yes.
It's sort of like a bar area where you can sit around on stools, and which is pretty cool.
Yep. So, drivers, when you can find something like this, enjoy it, because they're fast going out of style. I will say though that Petro and TA has picked up a little bit, and some of their truck stops that they closed the restaurant in, they're putting a Black Bear Diner, which is basically the same as an Iron Skillet or Country Pride. Has almost the same menu. It's still the expanded menu though, the old menu that we used to know. So that's it on that, on our dying breed. Basically, I feel about as accomplished as finding a payphone as I do finding one of these. I mean, they're about as rare now, pretty much. But you have anything else to add, babe?
Nope, just be safe out there, guys.
Yes, be safe.
And girls.
God bless. And as always, keep your shiny side up, your rubber side down, and your mirrors between the ditches. We'll catch y'all on the